I'm Kevin O'Connor. I work with a team at this old house that rebuilds old homes. I'm on a trip to meet another team. Most of them spent years volunteering to serve their country. Now, they volunteer to rebuild lives. When people run away from disaster, these are the men and women who run towards it. Their mission is to help the neediest. They call themselves Team Rubicon. Back in Selma, Alabama, Raymond Moore and his strike team have hit a roadblock. Originally assigned to muck out an historic home that suffered damage due to the tornado, the homeowner is having reservations and doesn't want the sheetrock removed. She's more concerned about a leak in her dining room caused by damage to her roof. The team is facing a decision. Do they complete the muck out as planned or pivot and find the source of the leak?
The game plan today was to come and do a full muck out. That means ripping down the ceiling from water damage and possibly ripping down the walls. And she was very adamant about not damaging the ceilings and walls. I mean, it's a very historic home.
I can crawl up and get in the attic if she would prefer not to have a hole, and then I can tap where the damage is so you can hear it.
Charlene Campbell, a retired military police officer and mother of 5, has been on a journey of self-discovery since her first operation with TR 2 years ago.
This might save us some steps in the process.
Right.
And I learned so much on that up. And this is my third up. And I've learned so much on this up, too. That's kind of know your role, accepting your role. There's a role for everybody. And I think that's really an important principle also. Because even if you start out in one role, you can move to another role and you're still as important to the mission. It's just a beautiful thing.
You got the leak right there to the left?
Yeah.
Right there, okay.
Yep. All right, we got it. And as you see right there, you can see the wet spot all the way around there. So that's an active leak.
Is there a hole in the roof?
Yes, there is a hole up in the roof here. Probably about an 8-inch hole. So I think we can get up there and actually tarp that area. And the reason why I'm putting the wood in there is to basically mark it for the people that are going to be doing the roofing work so that they don't have to guess where the area is.
Raymond updates the homeowner, Barbara, on what they found in the attic.
I just wanted you to know we got some good news. We were able to get up in the attic and find some of the holes that were causing some of the damage.
Wonderful.
So it looks like we won't have to pull down the sheetrock in the ceiling.
Okay.
We're just going to tarp the entire side of that roof.
Great.
So hopefully that'll catch any other smaller leaks we may have missed.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Ma'am, you are so welcome.
The good news is, by tarping the roof, they'll stop the leak in Barbara's dining room.
Sounds good, so we use a sticky tarp and try to patch it with that.
Bad news is, this was originally a mucking job, so their truck doesn't have the supplies needed to finish the job.
I'm going back to the fob so that I can meet up with the logistics person so that I can get the 2.5-inch nails and the bearing strips to continue the roofing job.
Everybody be very careful. I'm going to take our time, we're going to do it right, and we're going to have fun.
Yep, sure.
The charm of Barbara's historic home is undeniable. But it's some of those Victorian details that concern Raymond when it comes to getting the job done safely.
It's a steel roof, so we had to worry about safety.
What we tried using were these 1-inch roofing nails with these washers on them, but they weren't long enough to hold into the roof. So what we had them just go get were these 3-inch duplex nails. Now these will give us plenty of strength.
Team, outstanding job today. Thank God the weather was good. Everybody focused on safety. It was a good thing. Ms. Burns, it was, I believe, all of our pleasure to be here today to take care of you. And we hope we did an outstanding job to protect you from our next rainfall.
Thank you. I can honestly say, the bottom of my heart, since the day of the storm, this is like the best day in the last 18. Thank you so, so much. I appreciate it.
Our pleasure.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
At the end of the day, the team has not only helped the homeowner, but also helped preserve a piece of Selma's history.
We came there for a muck-out job, you know, maybe to pull down some ceilings, pull down some walls, sheetrock, and she was very adamant about not really destroying her home. Very historic home, gorgeous. And we wound up tarping the entire roof. We didn't have to tear down the ceiling. We didn't have to tear down her walls. And she was so grateful.
Yesterday was not a good day, just the constant hearing the drip, drip, drip of the water. I mean, that was just the most nerve-wracking sound ever. But after today and seeing how the roof was repaired by Rubicon, I think I'll get a good night's sleep tonight.
When I joined Team Rubicon, I knew one of the toughest parts would be leaving my wife and 3 kids for long stretches of time. When I was in Florida, I met father and son civilian grayshirts, Caden and Chris.
On Friday, on my way down here, I talked to him, you know, that night, and he's like, I signed up. And I'm like, you're gonna love this, man. You're just gonna love it.
His stories convinced you that you wanted to give it a try?
Oh yeah, and I've got a desk job, and so this gets me out of behind my desk and out of my house and doing things that mean something to people.
And that gave me an idea.
Good working with a couple kick-ass civilians. I like it. I think I'm gonna go home and talk to my son. All right.
Each time I came home from a deployment, I shared my experiences with my family.
We were sitting around the dinner table, and he had just gotten back from his trip, and he was so excited to tell us all of his stories and stuff, and they were good stories. They really were.
Now, you have to be 18 to sign up to be a grayshirt, and my oldest son, Luke, well, he just celebrated that milestone, so he signed up, and it didn't take long to get an assignment.
So, kiddo, just got an email that they have moved our deployment from one location to another. We've got to make ourselves deployable. I just filled mine out. This is you right here. You'll fill that out. We'll be good to go.
A fire mitigation operation is starting up in Niland, California, about an hour and a half southeast of Palm Springs. And as much as I've shared with Luke, you don't really know what being part of Team Rubicon is like until you put on your own gray shirt.
I'm ready to go help people.
So it's time for Luke to find out. And we're on our way to California. I'm going to dive right into work while Luke starts getting trained.
I have just arrived at another deployment here in Southern California, a town called Niland. They've asked us to come and clean up all of this fuel. There's a lot of dead brush on the ground. I gotta find my strike leader, get my gear, and get to work.
A special gray shirt has joined Team Rubicon for today's operation. Sean Seraphin is from USAA.
Kevin, what are we doing?
Hey, Sean, you made it. Welcome.
I did. Thank you, man. It's great to be here with Team Rubicon.
Yeah, well, good to have you here in our humble little fob. So if you're willing, we'll get you a gray shirt. We'll put you to work.
Yeah, let's do it.
Good morning. We had some late arrivals last night. One of them was Sean from our partner organization from USAA. He is with us, so Sean, thanks for being here today, for helping us to go ahead and support this community. This is a mitigation project based upon a fire that happened in June of 2020. The city here lost 40 homes and had 1 fatality. This particular location was identified by the fire department as their highest risk property. They describe it as a tinderbox ready to go at any moment. So we're gonna try to help keep this community more safe. Thanks for being here.
Here's our guy.
Dean is our strike team leader. He taught me how to swamp on my first deployment.
Sean, Dean.
Sean, how you doing?
Nice to meet you.
Sean is from USAA.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm a vet. I've been a member of USAA since 2006.
Oh, that's fantastic. Thank you, Dean. We appreciate that.
Thank you for what you guys offer.
And he's also offering a manual labor, so we got a swamper if need
And I'm
be.
told you're my boss today, so
Yeah.
I'm doing what you tell me.
We can definitely use it. What the fire department has requested of us out here is to build a perimeter around this property. So if a fire does happen in here, they can get around it, they can contain it, and keep it from spreading to all these homes. All right, you guys ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's get to work.
Starting soft.
slowly hack away at these branches.
Yeah.
Work your way around until we got like a ugly stump here.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna work that stump down to the ground.
Okay, gotcha.
Sound good?
You bet.
Okay, a lot of work, right? But fun.
Man, it's hard work.
You like
it's
it?
hard work, of course. I mean, it's an amazing group of people, and to be arm in arm with people that have served and people that are still serving, it's phenomenal.
So I didn't serve, and neither did you, but you've got a connection to the military?
Yeah, a bunch of my family have served. So my grandfather was in the Air Force, my dad and my brother both served in the Marine Corps, and my wife was in the Navy, so really connected.
So your specific role at USAA is what?
So I lead our property claims group at USAA, and that includes our catastrophe response. And, you know, that's just a piece that's so personal to me. It's why I'm glad to be here with you and Team Rubicon today, because it's so disruptive when people go through a catastrophic event. They're displaced. It takes a financial toll, an emotional toll. USAA's mission is to serve and advocate for the military community and their families. We empower our members to achieve their financial security through service and advice to meet their needs wherever they are.
Well, I do have to say a thank you sort of for USAA's supporting Team Rubicon for a long time now, but also supporting us and the show.
When you look at the origin of Team Rubicon and USAA, both founded by military people for military, supporting military families and supporting the community. Same core values, same mission and purpose in terms of really living into what they do and service first. USAA is not just insurance and banking, but it is that support for military families, for the eligible members. We support the spouses, we support military hiring.
This idea that we're doing mitigation today is obviously there was cleanup after the wildfire that came through this town, but today's operation is sort of preventing further damage, making sure bad things don't happen again.
We thrive on being there for our members. We know what it means to serve, and so we show up. Anything we can do to help prevent the occurrence and the disruption and the financial challenge it creates is what it's all about.
And you know what? I think they want us back. So you ready to get back to it?
Absolutely. Let's get it done.
All right. I'm in the Imperial Valley, which is about 3.5 hours east of San Diego and about an hour and a half north of the Mexico border. And for thousands of years, the Colorado River would either flow around or into the Imperial Valley. And when it flowed into it, well, it would create this behind me, the Salton Sea. Now this area right here, well, it's actually a couple hundred feet below sea level. And every time that the river flowed into it, it would fill up. And then every time the river would flow around the valley, it would start to evaporate and dry up, which it did for the last time back in around 1500 or so. So this was a dry lake bed for over 400 years until the early 1900s. Now the Colorado River, when it deposited itself in here, it would bring silt and very fertile soil. And they figured out that if they could bring back the water, they could turn this into farmland. So in 1900, they started digging irrigation canals to make farmland in all of this surrounding area. Well, in 1905, one of those canals with the spring floods broke through and the water started to pour out and refill the Salton Sea. You literally cannot see to the other side of this thing. It is 15 miles wide by 35 miles long. It is huge. And think about that. All of a sudden, an ocean shows up in Southern California. And when it did, well, the tourists came. I mean, look at this. Maybe an old pier. They built resorts and hotels and vacation homes all around this place. And everybody came and they enjoyed this ocean in the middle of nowhere. Until they didn't. And that happened probably around the 1970s or so. The inflows from the Colorado River stopped, and that started to shrink and evaporate. And when it did, the salinity levels rose, and there was also a lot of runoff from the surrounding farms. It basically poisoned the sea. There were huge fish die-offs, and also the birds as well that used to stop here as part of the Pacific Flyway. Well, the fortunes of all the towns around here They rose and they fell with the Salton Sea. And as that is starting to dry up, these towns around here are starting to dry up as well. They're losing population, they're becoming poorer, and quirky things are showing up. Old piers, artwork, things there out on the beach, and places like Slab City, which is, I'm not quite sure how to describe it, maybe a vagrant artist community just a few miles from here. Well, the Salton Sea has a compelling and complex history, and now it faces an uncertain future. I hope the test of time is kind to the Salton Sea. Mitigation efforts are in full swing in Niland. This is my son Luke's first time in California. He's been taking in the vibe and getting trained in TR protocols.
TR culture is very fast-paced. It's very different from what you see normally, but I love it.
Today, he's ready to join the operation.
So out here in Niland, California, it's a pretty small community, not a lot of firefighters, and there's a lot to do, so they definitely need our help, and they've asked for it. So here we are.
The citizens of Niland, when they see Team Rubicon coming back this time around, they're excited, they're thankful. In our efforts to support Team Rubicon being here as a volunteer and as a partner, we've activated our community benefit program in order to be able to provide meals. I know that's not a lot, but for us, I mean, we do it from the bottom of our heart. We appreciate everything that's being done.
Christina is the IC in charge of the mitigation operation.
The vegetation that we're seeing here in Niland is palm trees, salt cedars. We also see some high grasses, some scrub brush. To go ahead and combat that, we've brought out a really diverse skill set and a lot of different types of tools.
So we're going to be cleaning all these brush with a brush hog. We have a couple of chippers that we're using as well, and we have other teams of sawyers cutting the bigger stuff and some palm trees.
Welcome to the team, guys.
Thank you.
For clarity, Kate, Dure, Kevin, Luke, and Don.
Nice.
So I'll be the strike team leader for this group, Delta. Don is an AS1, he's the advanced sawyer. So I'm administrative leadership, he's technical leadership today.
Cool. So Luke and I have gotten our first work orders. We've been deployed to a sawyering team, so I'm gonna get to run a chainsaw. He's gonna be a swamper, which is good for him, young and strong.
Swamper, just carrying out all the garbage that's been cut, branches, all the tripping hazards, stuff like that.
A lot to cut, and palm trees, which I've not worked with before, and rumor has it some of them need to be felled. At Sawyer training, we learned to run through the PPE checklist before we start the saw. We got a blood stop kit, which we've checked in. It's got all the tourniquets, bandages. They give us a scrunch, a Sawyer, and a spotter's got to have this.
Have you felled a tree before, Kevin?
Not the TR way.
Have you felled a tree with a bike in it before?
Do all the trees come with bikes?
Well, you're going to sit on the bike while you're cutting the tree.
I've never felled one with TR. I've never felled one bigger than maybe 6 inches or 8 inches.
Okay.
And I've never felled a palm.
Palm trees, they're very soft. They have a lot of water in them, okay? So when you're cutting it, it's very mushy. It won't be like a traditional tree. We don't really wedge them. There's a chance you'll sit back on your wedge. It happened to me twice the other day. Make your face cut, then cut back all the way through, then feather the saw at the very end, and let gravity work for it.
This is a little different than the stuff we've worked on in the yard, right?
You think?
I do. All right. Well, I'm game. So Luke, first time swamping, Alp Sawyer, Don Spotter, so he's your boss. You don't go anywhere in until he tells you to go in.
All right.
You're gonna look at him for visual signals. I'm just gonna start to swipe that stuff there. It's pretty loose, so I'll be able to push a lot of it by with hand. And then when I'm ready to get it cleared, I'll break. I'll tell Don, step back, and then he'll tell you what to do.
Okay.
He doesn't tell you, you don't move.
All right.
Start saw. Cuts off.
On my first day as a swamper, I was taught about the blood bubble, a 6-foot circle around a hot chainsaw. The sawyer is the only one allowed inside that bubble. I want Luke to stay out.
Really, really dirty trees. You're gonna be sucking black, ash, fibers, and all kinds of stuff.
Quicker the better. Tree, falling.
Nice and
Hello,
done.
thank you. Appreciate the help
You know
and
what?
guidance.
That's a big tree for your first fell.
These palms grow up and down, so they're more like cutting the grass. Vertical.
I knew the Sawyer teams had some sort of method to their madness, but they got a lot going on. They got like commands, a bunch of safety protocols, some interesting techniques I guess I've never really thought of for cutting down the bigger trees. They're the badasses. They know what they're doing.
I thought the highlight was going to be felling my first tree, but in reality, highlight was working with Luke. I know he's liking it. He likes the hard work. He definitely likes being busy, so it's nice to see that. It's a treat for me. We would not get to do something like this on a regular occasion, so this is a nice change up on a deployment to have him by my side. I like it. I hope he comes back.
King, Alice, go. Boy, speak.
We work well together, but we're learning a lot, getting a lot done. It's good, I love it. It's good to get the work done. It feels good to just get after it, get shit done. Whatever we can do to help, I think, is amazing.
As a gray shirt, you find out quickly that the best part of the day is the campfire. Now, it may not measure up to some of Luke's high school bonfires back home, but I think he'll look back on this night and appreciate the moments gray shirts share after a hard day in the field.
Well, I think you guys you kicked ass today. Like, I was so impressed with the amount of work you did, and I was so proud of you. And I just want you to know that, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart.
One of TR's mantras is earn your shirt. So to recognize hard work, TR has a tradition of bestowing gray shirts with names stenciled on the front to people who showed exceptional effort.
Now, Luke, I saw you out there today getting things done on the chipper.
This was fresh when I left. The shirt.
Dirty gloves.
Yeah.
We're working.
It's like getting dirty. And I think you probably need this new shirt.
Yeah.
There is your first gray shirt with your name on it. So hope you had a great first stop. I'm glad you guys all made it out.
This is a special honor for Luke. Funny, I'm still writing my name with a Sharpie.
What'd you think?
It was good.
The whole day?
Yeah. It was a lot. It was a lot.
More than you were expecting?
I didn't know what to expect, but that was something.
Well, I had a lot of people come up to me quietly and pull me aside and say, hey, just want to tell you, he's a good kid. He worked hard. That doesn't surprise me, but it's still nice to hear. So you repped us well. Thank you for that.
Yep.
Hope you enjoyed it.
Yep.
Hope you got a taste for it.
Yep, definitely.
This was a great day, and I have Luke to thank for that. And I have a message for my twins back home. Liam, Caitlin, when you guys turn 18, you're next.